Welcome to Geek on Film with your host, Robbie Holmes. Howdy, folks. Welcome to this episode of Geek on Film. I'm Robbie Holmes, and I'll be running us through my experience at the Sundance Film Festival virtually in 2024 today. I would highly suggest that you go take a look at my profile on Letterboxd because there's a bunch of short films that I'm not going to be able to talk about today. My experience virtually was I bought the 10 ticket pass. I spent one of those tickets on a pack of short films. One film that I started, apparently, I didn't realize I had started it, so it expired on me. So I saw the films that were in the Sundance short package. So there's 6 films there. And then I saw an additional 8 films. So a grand total of 14 films this year at Virtual Sundance. The short package I watched included To Be Invisible, Winding Path, Object 817, The Smallest Power, 14 Paintings, and Bob's Funeral. So I would highly suggest checking out The Smallest Power, but the one I want to shine a spotlight on is Bob's Funeral. It's a really interesting film that leverages a combination of live action and animation during the funeral of a character's of the filmmaker's grandfather. And I found it really moving and really chaotic. So the description of the film on Letterboxd is searching for the root of generational trauma. The director takes a camera to his estranged grandfather's funeral. It was definitely an interesting film. I wasn't sure what to expect, but 19 minutes of unique filmmaking is what I would tell you got there. So that is my reviews of the short films this season that I saw at Sundance. I would say, again, feel free to follow me over on Letterboxd and take a look at some of my other reviews. I saw 8 films, like I mentioned, that were feature length. We'll start with the first film, and that was Thelma. So Thelma, the summary from our friends at IMDb is, when 93-year-old Thelma Post gets duped by a phone scammer pretending to be her grandson, she sets out on a treacherous quest across the city to reclaim what was taken from her. So Thelma is played by June Squibb. Her grandson, Daniel, is played by Fred Heckner. I'm a sucker for this already, but Parker Posey plays her daughter, and Clark Gregg plays her son-in-law. It's pretty amazing, the cast that you pull together, because one of her close friends, Ben, is played by Richard Roundtree, and there's just amazing actors everywhere. There's a nice eventual reveal that I won't give you here, but you should definitely take a gander at the film. It was one of my most highly rated films coming out of Sundance this year. I gave it 4.5 stars. What I would capture from my Letterboxd review is June Squibb is unreal as an action star. There's so much to be seen here. I jokingly call this Mission Impossible, the Octogenarian edition. There's so much fun in this film. It's so heartwarming and real and emotional in ways that you wouldn't expect. But I really loved it. It's Thelma, and it is not yet being released, as I am aware of at the moment. Hang in there. It's worth it when you finally get to see it. The second film I saw was Between the Temples. According to our friends at IMDb, a cantor in a crisis of faith finds his world turned upside down when his grade school music teacher re-enters his life as his new adult bat mitzvah student. This movie is written by C. Mason Wells and Nathan Silver, and is directed by Nathan Silver. The cantor is Ben Gottlieb, played by Jason Schwartzman, and his teacher that is back in his life, Carla Kessler, is played by Carol Kane. His mothers are played by Dolly DeLeon and Caroline Aaron. It is full of interesting people, is what I would say across. The biggest and nicest surprise is Rabbi Bruce is played by Robert Smagel. If you love comedy and you love the history of comedy, it's a really nice surprise. I would say I wasn't super hot on this film. The editing and the camera choices at times are great, and other times they're really off-putting. There's a lot of like jumping and editing and hard cuts, and one of the other big takeaways for me is Carol Kane as an overbearing and caring woman is unbelievable. And the final one that is piece de resistance on my review was the penultimate act. Chaos is so uncomfortable. I didn't love it, but it was absolutely engaging all the way through. You should check out Between the Temples. The next film is A Real Pain, and that is summarized as two cousins travel to Poland after their grandmother's death to see where they came from and end up joining a Holocaust tour. It is written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. The two cousins are Benji Kaplan and David Kaplan, played by Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. There's a really interesting group of people that are part of this tour. There's a really nice surprise for me. Jennifer Grey plays Marcia, who's one of the people on the Holocaust tour. It's a really moving film. I think what I came away with is Jesse Eisenberg here feels like a true jack of all trades, from acting to writing to director. There's so much being done in this film by him. I think he has really leveled up as a writer and director. He's always been a great actor. And Kieran Culkin just gets to play sort of a lovable manic depressive. At least that's the way he's portrayed in the film. And he's really amazing. There are times you want to just you wince and you want to punch him in the face, and there are other times you really want to hang out with him. And I think Jesse Eisenberg's character, his cousin, feels similarly. So we get these really great moments of discomfort, but caring and love and worry. And I was really impressed with it. A Real Pain is a pretty astounding film. The next one up for me was In the Summers. So, according to IMDb, on a journey that spans the formative years of their lives, two sisters navigate their loving but volatile father during their yearly summer visits to his home in La Cruces, New Mexico. So the father of this is played by Residente, the rapper. And then there are three sets of daughters, and they are all interesting, unique, and different. There's a really cool set of casting where the younger characters, like caricatureness and how they play the character, feels like it's passed on to the next actor, who is passing it on to the next actor. So this film was written and directed by Alessandra La Croza Samundio. It is a very moving film. I would say my review of it was a very ambitious film tracking a broken family of a single father and the effect it has on his daughters on their summer visits. It's a pretty amazing cast. Multi-year, multi-casts of daughters is effective. Overall, it's trying to tell us a complicated story, and at times it's a bit caricature-esque and over the top, but it is impressive to pull it off. The final set of sisters or daughters is Sasha Calais and Leo Mejil. There's a chemistry between them that feels natural. I think all the pairings of sisters feel very natural, but it's unreal to see these two humans who I've seen in a few films up to this point, including Leo in Mutt, where they were unbelievable, and Sasha Calais getting a chance here to spread their wings a little bit more and do a little bit more with what they're given. I really loved how ambitious this film was. I just don't know that it landed every time. It felt a little bit like at times a like after school special with a bigger budget. but it got more cohesive and more stable and more effective, I think, the longer the film went on. Next up for me was Dìdi, and that film is in 2008, during the last month of the summer before high school begins. An impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him: how to skate, how to flirt, and how to love your mom. Uh, this movie is written and directed by Sean Wang. It is amazingly cast. Chris Wang is played by Isaac Wang. Chung Sing Wang is played by Joan Chen, and that is his mom. And Vivian Wang, I believe, is his sister, is Shirley Chen. And his grandmother is Nene, who is played by Chang Li Hu. This movie is really great. I think one of the things I really loved about it, so my review is uh, the use of early internet tech culture in a coming of age story is a great start to a film I'm going to love. Complicated family story, dynamics, and a protagonist trying to figure out who they are, and what they want to be. Also, sometimes teenagers are jerks, and moms always forgive them. It's a sad and sweet film. Isaac Wang should be on everyone's radar now. I was super moved by this film. I definitely cried a bunch. 100% on board for seeing what else Sean Wang is up to. This was an exciting week, I believe, for Sean because he also had a short that was nominated for Best Short Film this year at the Oscars, and I watched that this week. It was based on his grandmother, who's actually in this film. Very fun and moving short film about his grandmother and her mother. Next up for me was Daughters. It was a documentary, and our friends at IMDb say four young girls prepare for a special daddy daughter dance with their incarcerated fathers as part of a unique fatherhood program in Washington, D.C. jail. This movie was very moving. My short but succinct review of this was a super moving documentary that meanders through a few years of the lives of daughters of inmates in the DC jail system. This documentary was well done. It is moving in ways that I wasn't expecting. It's a story I had not been aware of. Apparently, there's a program that has been utilized in multiple places that is called this like daddy daughter dance. The story it unfolds that apparently in Richmond there was a little girl whose school was having a daddy daughter dance, and she wrote a letter to a sheriff, and she asked if they could move the daddy daughter dance to the prison, and he said yes. It seems fair. The directors for this film are Angela Patton and Natalie Ray. This movie moved me a lot, and I was really impressed with it. It definitely won at least one of the awards at Sundance, and should be on your radar. Expect to cry. Bring some tissues. So I'm down to my last two films for this year at Sundance. So this one is Love Me. I love the description of this film. I love this film so much. IMDb has it as a love story between a satellite and a buoy. This is written and directed by Andrew Zuccaro and Sam Zuccaro. And there are two characters in this movie. Me, played by Kristen Stewart, and I Am, played by Stephen Yeun. My short summary of this film, I love this film. It wasn't a great film. It wasn't a perfect film. It was a very moving and interesting take. A really unique and ambitious and unique two-handed. Kristen and Steven are both amazing. So that is my take on this film. It is conceptually bringing something to the table that I don't know that a lot of rom-coms do. I also think it's moving to help us think about who and what we are and how we define ourselves. And these two actors are like lightning constantly. There's always this tension, and they're both unbelievably good at what they do. I was so moved by their reactions to one another and how vulnerable and self-destructive Kristen Stewart's character Me was. And then Stephen Young being strong and stoic and holding his ground, as I am. Really interesting. When it comes and becomes available to you, you should see Love Me. So here we are, my final film of this year's virtual Sundance. It was Suncoast. You can watch it right now on Hulu. It was written and directed by Laura Chin. It is a semi-autobiographical film about her life. And here's the summary from IMDb. While caring for her brother, along with her audacious mother, a teenager strikes up a friendship with an eccentric activist who is protesting one of the most landmark medical cases of all time. So this film is really powerful. It is the story of a family who the son of the family has fallen ill and ends up in the same hospice as Terry Schiavo. It's based on her life experience, the author and director. And the mother in this film is played by Laura Linney. The daughter is Doris is played by Nico Park, and the eccentric activist is played by Woody Harrelson. So Paul Warren's character is played by Woody Harrelson. And then it also gets into this world of the daughter, Nico Park's Doris, in high school, and the trying to live a life while all of this is going on, and how it's impossible to not like be affected, have it be affecting you, and to live your life and also feel like you can be out there and do what you want to do. Without any ramifications, without feeling guilt, or without gaining the ire of your mother who is heartbroken. It's really well done. Laura Linney's amazing. If there was some justice in this world, we would be having a conversation about Laura Linney. Nico Parker is definitely an up-and-coming star, and Woody Harrelson and Nico Parker together are charming. They're super, super charming. Yeah, this film is moving. Go watch it. It's on Hulu. That was my Sundance. The experience of basically getting my tickets wasn't always perfect. I enjoyed sitting on my couch and enjoying these films. I watched Love Me with my wife, and she was questioning and also into it. It was fun, and we watched A Real Pain, and I think she was really moved by it. I hope someday to go in person to Sundance, and I look forward to future years where I get to cover this. It was really a great year from my perspective. There's a lot going on in the films that I saw that were positives. I didn't see any stinkers, and it's just a testament to how good the films were that were at this year's Sundance. That's it for me this week. Please hang in there with me and the format and what we're trying to do here. I am Robbie the Geek everywhere, and you should follow Geek on Film Com on X and Instagram. And I look forward to next week, where I'm not sure what I'm going to cover yet. There's an awful lot of films that are landing right now, and I'm trying to decide what's next for me. But there's so much to watch. It's such a good time in film. I'm so impressed by what I've already put into the chamber. Maybe I will revisit A Taste of Things. I got to see that with my wife this week, and it's so powerful. And a couple of the Oscar-nominated shorts and a few other things. I'm sure it'll be fun. That's it for me. Have a great week. Bye-bye. This has been a Geek on Film podcast. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.